So where have I been? Excuse all the noise because I am outside and we have traffic coming from one side. Then I have my cows and some animals here. There's really just nowhere quiet on the homestead. If I go to the back, the dogs are there. But anyways, I recently got a diagnosis last week of Lyme disease. And but prior to that, I was having symptoms, and I still am. Now, I don't remember if I shared this on any vlog or not, but I got bit by a tick a few months back now. I ended up developing a really large spot on my leg where it bit me about that big. And I didn't necessarily know what to think of it. I started researching, and so I went to my doctor, my PCP, and I told him, I was like, I developed this spot, but I also am having a lot of joint pains in my feet, in my hands, and I'm feeling fatigued. And so he was like, yeah, I'm going to treat you for it. So he gave me antibiotics, and he also told me there were no tests that were going to be good enough to detect whether I had Lyme disease or not, and that's their standard protocol. And at first I was like, I don't know what to do. I've not researched this enough, and I'm wasting time. And so I went ahead and I took the antibiotics, and my pain went away temporarily, but it began to return as soon as I was done with the antibiotic. And so I signed up to see my functional medicine practitioner again, because you can have a plan. I was planning on being done with her since I kind of understood what I was dealing with the whole SIBO and the Epstein-Barr virus. And so I contracted Lyme disease. Like I said, I am having symptoms, and I'm very tired these days. And on top of that, I still have everything I am supposed to do. I am on a protocol and have been for about a month now. But because my diagnosis was positive and for the specific strains that we're trying to treat, I am waiting for a couple of more supplements. And when they get here, I will share what I'm going to be taking. But so like I said, on top of these symptoms, life has gone on. And because I really didn't know what I was dealing with, if I had it or not, because the test took a little while to get my results. And also I had become very forgetful that after my box arrived to take the test, I forgot that I needed to make an appointment, that I needed to go in. And I would see that box every day on the counter and just think like, yeah, I know I need to do something there, but it's not really processing. So definitely brain fog. And then because I was getting better from my H. pylori, my Epstein-Barr virus, and I was just kind of dealing with the SIBO and the gastritis, which I have learned to keep at bay, I thought I was going to be fine. And so I went ahead and I started doing a lot of homesteading things. I purchased 19 sheep that I run on this side of the property. And then I have a few sheep back here on my property that I bought, but they're two separate folds. I'll get into that later if you're interested. We bought pigs. I have my goats in the back that we're milking, the cows that we're milking, my chickens and turkeys, and some guineas in order to eat the ticks. So, did I mention gardening? Anyways, because I've done that, and then on top of that, I have my homeschooling and the house chores and all those things. Don't think I do it by myself either. My kids help me. I've just been bogged down. Some days I have absolutely no energy, and other days I have some. And on the days that I don't have energy, though, I do find if I get up and I push myself, I can do them. But another thing that's really weird is that I am on and off super sleepy, which is not like being fatigued. Like my body can do stuff. I'm tired, but I'm awake, and then 5 minutes later, I'm drowsy. And then I'm awake again in a few minutes, and I'm drowsy again. And that's been the really weird thing, because I could be driving, and then I'm drowsy. And so I'm just like, whoa, this is a bit much right now. And thankfully, I can do things to kind of snap myself out of it, and it's short-lived. So I try to not do a lot of driving, I guess, but also be aware that that is happening to me. Now, when I got my diagnosis, I am not going to lie. I was, and when I think about it, I am angry. I am mad that this is just one more thing that I need to deal with on top of my illnesses that I have had since about 2012. And so here we are, and I am sick with something new, something serious, something that could possibly heal, it could not, I don't know. I'm hopeful that we can treat it and that I'll get better. It's just right now I'm going through a lot mentally, emotionally, spiritually, physically. And I'm not gonna lie, I'm tired. I'm tired. So what I do is I don't think about having Lyme disease. I don't research it. I don't even research the strains I have right now. I am just going along right now, taking the supplements that my practitioner has recommended. I am trying to live in a state of peace of mind by not focusing on it and enjoying the moments of when I do have energy or when I do get up and do stuff, and spending time with my family. Honestly, like, I don't even know what my channel wants for me anymore and if I can produce it. And part of that's my fault. I was doing homesteading and then I started sharing about my health, and it's been so much of my life, like more so than the homesteading, because the homesteading takes a little bit of time where my sickness is just like there in my face, and depending on how I feel depends on how much I can do, how well I do it, how much energy I have to devote to it. And I love YouTube. I mean, it's an outlet for me. I enjoy doing it. It's fun. And I'm not even sure why. Yeah, it's just a hobby, I guess. You know, we all have hobbies. I used to have a hobby. I used to have a lot of hobbies, and I don't have the energy to do my hobbies. I used to play basketball. I used to sew a lot, crochet a lot. And these days, I really have to set my priorities straight and do what I have the energy to do first, which is taking care of my house, homeschooling, and making sure our animals are taken care of. And in no way do I have any plans of not homesteading, because I started homesteading for the purpose of feeding myself and my family the healthiest foods that we could source, the healthiest meats. And the only way I can ensure and 100% know that my food is healthy and clean the way I want it is to feed it myself, grow it out, and then have it butchered. And so this is something I can't give up. I love it. I love knowing where my food comes from. There's a sense of peace that comes with that, versus if somebody else is raising them, you know, it's always going to be in the back of my mind, like, what did they feed them, and what was their main diet, what was their supplements, how were they taken care of and treated, you know. Now, I'm not like being PETA or anything, but I do believe the more stress on an animal, that it does affect the meat and the hormones that are inside of it. And so I like my animals to live a pretty simple, peaceful life on pasture. And then when they go to the butcher, that's just the worst day that they have. I can't let that go. I mean, if I had to, I know I could, I would, but I prefer to hold on to this. And one thing I want to mention is that while I was going through my symptoms without the diagnosis, I was so frustrated because I was eating Whole30 foods. I wasn't gaining energy. I was still tired, and I didn't understand. I was like, you know, normally I start to feel better and my hormones start to get better. Everything starts to get better, and I wasn't getting better. I was just still tired. And so after my diagnosis came in, I was really, like I said, mad. And so I broke my Whole30, and I always get this, like, I'm so mad, I'm going to do whatever I want attitude. And so I stopped eating Whole30, and I started eating still clean things, but things that I know are not the best for my body. And so I ate chocolate, I had dairy, I had wheat, Thankfully, all these things, like I said, are top quality. Just my body doesn't do well on them. And the interesting thing is, I don't have any new symptoms necessarily from that other than a little bit of dry eyes, which is the normal thing that happens to me. But, anyways, that's where I have been. That is where I am. I don't know what is going to happen from here, but I do think if I get more energy back and I start to feel better, I have 2 more months on my treatment, and we're gonna, I think, retest and see what my numbers are, kind of see if I'm getting better or not. I do want to also say that even just with the Lyme disease now, my Epstein-Barr virus has also reactivated. The lab results showed that my levels were really elevated, like really high. And so I guess anytime I am sick or dealing with something, my body can always reactivate the Epstein-Barr virus. Thanks for watching, and y'all take care. Bye.